Okay, good morning, boys and girls. Today we're starting lesson 1.2 on page 9 of your textbook. And the title of our lesson is Write and Read Numbers. So when we write and read numbers, the essential question is basically how can you read and write numbers through 100,000? So if you were given a number that had 100,000, a value of 100,000 or greater, how can you read and write those numbers in three different ways? And so in our unlock the problem, it says the International Space Station uses 262,400 solar cells to change sunlight to electricity. And it wants us to write 262,400 in standard form, word form, and expanded form. Okay, and I'll explain those as we go further down. But first, a valuable tool to be able to do this is to use a place value chart. In our first lesson, we talked about the place value chart, and we talked about ones, tens, hundreds using models, right? We had cubes and flats and longs, so on, right? So today we're going to have a chart here, and it wants you to learn the idea of a period. And it says each group of 3 digits separated by a comma is called a period. So when we look at this number that we started with, I see my comma here, and there's a block of 3 numbers and another block of 3 numbers. So every group of 3 numbers separated by a comma, we call those periods. And each period has hundreds, tens, and ones. So if we were just looking at this value, we'd say 400. That's 4 hundreds, no tens, no ones. In the next one, we'd say it has 2 hundreds, 6 tens, and 2 ones, but it would be in the thousands period. Okay, and so we notice that down here, we see that this period is thousands, and then the first one, the period to the furthest to the right is the ones period. So what we're going to do is we're going to put this number, we're going to put the digits of this value in each of the place value spots. So we're going to have 400 from that number, and then I'm going to write 262. Okay, and so this number, 262,400, has 2 periods. It has the thousands period, and it has the ones period. So in standard form means how do the numbers appear? How do you write them with their numerical value? Using numbers. So here we just write it out exactly like it's written. So 262,400 in word form. So how do we figure out what we say? Well, we only have one comma, okay? And so that comma is separating the thousands and the ones. So we start by saying 262, 262, and that's in the thousands period. So that's what we're going to call it, 262,400. And so in its expanded form, that means break it up by its place value. So we have 200,000. We have 6 10,000s, so that would be 60,000 because 6 tens is 60, 60,000s. And we have 2 1,000s. And then finally we have 4 hundreds. And we don't have anything after the 400 because there are no tens and there are no ones in this problem. Okay, so now we're going to do some practicing on this. And on the try this section, okay, in the try this section, it says use place value to read and write numbers. Okay, what I want you to do, since we only have this one little block for the place value chart, I want you to create your own again, like we did yesterday. And so I want you to write ones, tens, hundreds. And you know what? It might be easier for you just to go ahead and write it sideways. So let's do that. Ones, tens, hundreds, and draw a line above that. This is going to be our ones period. Okay, so let's box that ones period and separate the place values with lines. So in the ones, we know that we're going to have ones, tens, and hundreds. And then our next period is the thousands. And they're also going to have ones, tens, hundreds. But this time, the period's name is thousands. So we can box that and separate the place values. So we've created our place value chart. And then draw lines going down to extend our place value chart, because we can write a couple problems in here as we go and to help us visualize the place value. All right. So again, look at that. We have the thousands period and the ones period. And each period always has ones, tens, hundreds. Ones, tens, hundreds. All right. So in our first problem under the try this, it says in word form, 92,170. 92,170. Well, I see a comma there. So that's got to separate my values into thousands and ones. So the second part is the ones, and this is the thousands part. So how would we write 170? Wouldn't you just put 170? Okay, now let's look at this first part. 92,000. 92,000. So there are no hundreds. I didn't say 100,000. I said 92,000. So how many tens would make 92? 9. So 92,170. All right. So standard form, 92,170. Now we break that up into our place value. And let's break up our number. So we see that we have 9 10,000s, and 9 10,000s would be 90,000, plus 2,000s. We have 170. I see the 70, so the only part that's missing is 100. Okay, so we've written this value in 3 different ways. The standard form is 92,170. Word form, exactly how we said it, 92,000, comma, 92,000. So basically the comma tells us that's the thousands name, 170. And then we broke it up into its place value, 90,000, 2,000, 170. And we don't have to put the ones because there are 0. And then our next one, we see that if we put that in our place value chart, that's what it should look like in my place value chart. I have 200,000s no 10,000s, no 1,000s, no hundreds, no tens, and 7 ones. So this should be easy to do. Again, I see a comma here, I see a comma there. So that means I have two periods. The period to the left is thousands. So 200 what? 1,000. 200,000. And then how much in the ones period? Just 7. So 200,000, 7. Well, that should be easy to write in expanded form. I see the 7. So all I have to do is come up with the 200,000. Just write 200,000. So 200,007. 200,007. 200,007. All right, let's go to page 10. And on page 10, it says, how can you use place value and period names to read and write 324,904 in word form? Well, let's see if we can put that in our place value chart. 3, 2, 4, 9, 0, 4. So I can write 324 in the thousands period, and 904 in the ones period. In a place value chart. So that's what I've used. Okay, so I've written 324 in the thousands period, and I wrote 904 in the ones period. Okay, now, so I should be able to read the value of that number. I can read the number as 300 as 324,000, comma, again, that's separating the left and the right column, the thousands and the ones period. And then write, how can you write that in words? So 904 would be 904. Well, that's exactly what we did in the place value chart. Okay. So you can write 324 in thousands period, 904 in the ones period in a place value chart. So I can read the number as 324,904. So let's do number 2. Read and write the number in 2 other forms. So here, obviously, this is in word form. So let's see if we can figure out from word form what it would look like in my place value chart. Okay. Now I have a clue because there's a comma there. So 408,000. So let's just start there. 408 in the thousands period. Then 17. So I didn't say 100, so there must be no hundreds. 17. That would be 110 and 7 ones. All right. So since we've done that, we can just rewrite that. That's the standard form right there. 408,017. So let's break it up by its place value and write it in expanded form. So we have 400,000. We don't have any 10,000, so we can skip that. The next one would be 8,000. We don't have any hundreds, so I can skip that. The next one would be 10, because there's one 10. And finally, 7. So we've written that number 3 different ways. All right, number 3. Let's see if we can come up with this one. So I'm going to write this in the place value chart. All right, so that's what they gave us. They gave us 65,058. So 65 in the thousands place. So 65,058. 65,058. So write that in words. What did we say? We said 65,000, comma, 65,058. $65,058. Now, the other form so far they've given us is the standard form, word form, expanded form. So expanded form, we're just going to put it in its by place values with plus signs. Break the number apart. 60,000 plus 5,000 plus 50. Why didn't I write any hundreds? Because it said 0 hundreds. 58. Okay, let's move on. Number 4. Read and write the number in 2 other forms. So we're going to keep practicing. And so let's use our chart. And we're going to write 508,000. 508,000. Okay, 508 in the thousands period. So what do I put in the ones period? Well, in this case, there wouldn't be anything because it doesn't say 508,007 or 28 or 129. It just stops at 508,000. You also notice there's not a comma, so right now there's nothing after it. So those have to be zeros. 508,000. So let's write that. Since we have it, let's write 508,000 as our answer. $508,000. This is in word form, standard form, and expanded form. Break it up. So we have 500,000, no 10,000, so I don't need to write that. We have 8,000, and then I have nothing after it. So that's all I have to write. 508,000. Okay, great. Number 5. So now we have 40,619. All right, so that's we can do that. How do we write 40,000? So 40 in the thousands place. 40 in the thousands place. And then our next place value, the rest of the number says 619. So I'm going to put 619. Oh, well, that's the standard form, right? So let's just write that. 40,619. So we have standard form, word form, and we just need to write it in expanded form now. So we have 4 10,000s, 40,000. I have no 1,000, so that doesn't change anything. I have 6 100s. I have 1 10, so just 10, and I have 9 ones. So 40,619. All right, let's move on. Number 6. All right, in number 6, I see 570, comma 020. So I'm going to write that in. 570, 020. So that's what we have in our place value chart. And so they've already written this number in standard form. So let's break this down and see how we say it. Let's start here with this period. Remember to say all three numbers together. 570 thousands. 570 thousands. So I'm going to write that. 570,000, comma. And then I'm going to read the second part. And in my chart, I just have 20. So I'm just going to write 570,020. Okay, so we have it in standard form, word form. Now we're going to write it in expanded form. So we have 500,000. We have 70,000. We have no hundreds, so don't write anything there. We have 2 10s, which is 20, and we have no ones. So that's all we have to write. 500,072. Okay, number 7, they gave us the expanded form. Let's put it back together. So 400,000 plus 60,000 plus 5,000. That would be 465,000. 465,100. So if we're going to put that in our place value chart, we would have 465,100. So how do we write that in words? We're going to start with the first 3 digits, and we're going to say 465. 465 are in the thousands period, so 465,000. And what's the last period? Just 100. So write 100. All right, number 8. Write the name of the period that has the digits 1, 4, 5. So we're using this number here, and it wants to know the period for the 1, 4, 5. If we have to use our place value chart, we'd have 1, 4, 5, 9, 7, 3. So we notice that the 1, 4, 5 is in the thousands period. 1, 4, 5 is in the thousands period. So just write thousands. Write the name of the period that has the digits 9, 7, 3. Well, if 145 is the thousands, the other period has to be ones. Now it says write the digit in the 10,000s place. So if you looked at the number you put in your place value chart, I noticed that the 4 is in the 10,000s. So we're going to write 4. Write the value of the digit 1. Okay, I look at my place value chart, and I wrote the 1 in the very first number, very first place value spot, the furthest to the left. And so we would have 100,000. So write the value. So it's 100,000. You could also have written that in words if you wanted. All right, so let's continue on to page 11. And now we're looking at the Think Smarter problems, numbers 12 through 15. And it wants you to find the sum, then write the answer in standard form. Okay, so we can do this. 5 thousands, 2 tens, 4 ones, plus 4,000, 3 hundreds, 2 ones. Okay, so the first one is 5,024. How did I get that? Well, I saw 5,000s. I didn't see any hundreds here in this first number. I did see 2 tens, so that would be 20, and 4 ones. So 2 tens and 4 ones is 24. So 5,024. Then we're going to add 4,000s, and it says 300 and 2 ones. There are no tens. So 302. Find the sum, then write the answer in standard form. 4 ones plus 2 ones is 6. 2 tens plus no tens is 2. 300 plus no hundreds is 300. 5,000 plus 4,000 is 9,000. So our answer to number 12 should be 9,326. So in standard form, that's what it is. Number 13. So technically what I did in number 12 is I changed the word form into standard form. What I can do, I can solve this problem using word form. 6,000s plus 1,000. Well, that's 7 thousandths. How many hundreds? 500 and 300. That's 8 hundredths. How many tens? I just see 4 tenths, so that would be 4 tenths. So now what are these values? 7,840. Number 14, 4 10,000s. How much is 4 10,000s plus 3 10,000s? So 4 10,000s plus 3 10,000s has to be 7 10,000s. All I did was add the 4 and the 3 because they were in the same place value. So 4 plus 3 would be 7 10,000s. And then we have to finish it up by adding 408 tens. Well, what is 408 tens? Well, we'd write 400s, 8 tens. Now write that in standard form. How do we write 7 10,000s? Even if we had to use our fingers, we could say 10,000, 20,000, 30,000, 40,000, 50,000, 60,000, 70,000. Okay, so 70,000, comma, 408 tens. So that would be 480. Number 15. They want us to add 4 10,000s, 3 ones, 1 10,000, 9 hundreds, and 5 ones. So as I look at that, the only place values that are the same are those two. I have 5 ones and 3 ones. So I'm just going to rewrite everything else. 4 10,000s. Oh, I'm sorry. I misspoke. We have 4 10,000s and 1 10,000. So that would actually be 5 10,000s plus 9 hundreds plus how many ones? 8 ones. All right, so what do we have? We have 5 10,000s, which is 50,000, 900 plus 8, 908. Okay. For number 16 and 17, it says use the table. And remember, I want you to always look at the title of the table to make sure that you understand what's being shown in the table. And our title is Major Cities in North Carolina. And then I see under the city column that there's 3 cities, Durham, Greensboro, and Raleigh. And then the last column, it says population. So the population in 2008 was 229,171 people in Durham. There were 255,124 people in Greensboro, and there were 405,612 people in Raleigh. So, 16. Which city has a population of 255,124? Well, there's 2 ways I can look at that. So I know that this is 2 periods. I have the thousands period, and I also have the ones. So are there any cities that have 124 in the ones period? I see 124 right there. And then I see 255 there. So this has to be Greensboro. 17. Write the population of Raleigh in expanded form and word form. So we're going to write this number in expanded form. So we have 400,000s, no 10,000s, and we have 5,000s. Then we have our ones period, which is 600s, 110. Oh, I combined them. Sorry, guys. 600 plus 10 plus 2. Okay, so all we did was we broke this up into its place value using plus signs. 400,000 plus 5,000 plus 600 plus 10 plus 2. So in word form, write it as you would say it. 405, 405,000, 612. Okay, number 18. What's the error? So you need to think critically on these. Okay. So in expanded form, Sophia said that the expanded form for 605,970 is 600,000 plus 50,000 plus 900 plus 70. Well, is this digit here, this 5, do you say 50,000 or is that 5,000? So I think she made a mistake with the 5 digit. So Sophia, what did she do? She wrote the wrong value for the digit 5. The digit 5 is in the 1,000s place. and has a value of 5,000. Not 50,000. So the expanded form should be expanded form should be 600,000, no tens. That's 0. So just write 5,000. And then what is written in the ones period? 970. So that's what she should have written. All right, let's go to page 12. Okay, and finish up our last two problems. Okay, and number 19. Go deeper. So this is going to, things tend to be a little more challenging. We just have to read carefully and apply what we've learned in our previous problems. So Mark tossed 6 balls while playing a number game. 3 balls landed in one section, and 3 balls landed in another section. His score is greater than 100,000. What could his score be? All right, so what do we know? Well, we know the things I basically underlined. 3 balls landed in one section, and 3 balls landed in another section. Okay, and I also know that his score is greater than 100,000. All right, so that gives us actually a lot of information. So how can we use what we know about place value to find what Mark's score could be? Well, let's talk about this for a second. Let's say 3 of the balls landed in tens, thousands, and 3 landed in the thousands. 3 tens, that would be 10, 20, 30, 30,000 plus 3,000. Well, that would only be 33,000. So some of the balls had to land in the 100,000. And since 3 balls landed in one section, I'm going to assume 3 landed in the 100,000 spot. And then 3 could have landed in 10,000 or 1,000s or hundreds or tens or the ones. But 3 of them have to land in the 100,000. That's the only way to get greater than 100,000. So what did we say? We said 3 balls could land in the 100,000 section. The other 3 could land in, say, the 10,000 section. So I can find the value by going this way. So I can find the value of the 3 balls that landed in the 100,000 section plus the 3 that landed in the 10,000 section. So how much do we have here? We have 100,000, 200,000, 300,000 plus 10,000, 20,000, 30,000. So we have 330,000 as a possible score. Okay, so draw a diagram to show one way to solve the problem. All right, well, what did we do? So we have this game, and we know that that's ones, and that's tens, and that's hundreds, and that's thousands and then 10,000, and I need another row to get 100,000. And I know that 1, 2, 3 of the balls had to land in 100,000, and I went ahead and said the other 3 landed in the 10,000 spot. So all we do is redraw the game board that was up here. We copied the game board, and where could the balls have landed? Remember, 3 had to land in one section and 3 in another section. So the only possibility of kind of being different answer would be where you would put the second set of 3 balls. The 3 of them have to be in the 100,000s. We've already decided that because that was the only way to get something greater than 100,000. All right, so now let's complete the explanation. 3 balls could have landed in the 100,000 section. 3 balls could have landed in the 10,000 section, or the 1,000 section, or the 100 section, or the 10 section, or the 1 section. So Mark's score could be 330,000. Okay, so that's one possible answer. And number 20. What is another way to write that number? Mark all that apply. So if we go back to our place value chart one last time, we have 615,004. And we know from practicing that these first 3 numbers are in the thousands. So we could say 615,000, and in the second period is 4. So 615,004. All right, let's see which answers are close to that. So A says 615,004. That's what we said, 615,004. B, 605,014. That's not 14, and that's not 605. So it can't be B. C, 60,000 plus 10,000 is 70,000, plus 5 more is 75,000. So 75,004. That is nowhere close to 615,000. D, 600,000 plus 10,000 plus 5,000. So that's 615,004. That matches. So that's basically the lesson for today. So refresh your memory of what we've been doing today. We've been working on writing numbers 3 different ways, using standard form, the normal way you would see a number. We've talked about how to write numbers in expanded form by using their place value with plus signs. And we've also talked about how to write words in word form. Okay, so a key here, until you feel really, really comfortable, is to use a place value chart. Okay? Strongly encourage you to do that. So that's it for today's lesson. Tomorrow in class, we will practice lesson 1.2 on Go Math Online. And I will be available to assist you if you have any questions. So until then, I'll see you tomorrow.